This pack's centered around people that want to get ML Luna. Everything in here is about pulling ML Luna, right? All these packs are loaded with mystics, and they've got things in here that will let you do elemental summons so you can get more shots at her. And they're loaded with gear that looks like it might be really good on her. Up to and including, there's some in here that's got gear that, you know, is her in-lore gear, right? There's her spear. And every time you pull one of these packs, you advance down this walkway, and this walkway is loaded with more mystic medals. These are better value than just buying mystics from the mystic shop. A lot better. The mystic shop's some of the worst value in the game. So this is really good for people who want ML Luna. These packs really are perfect for ML Luna. I recommend that you use a discounted way to buy these if you can. You can hit me up in Discord, and I'll talk to you about how to do the discounts that I was doing earlier, right? But get you about 30% off. I'm not sponsored, so I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail right now about it, but if you need help with that, let me know. Now, for people who don't want ML Luna or already got her, these packs here, highly contested. How good value are they? I mean, this is nickel and dime, right? This New Moon Premium Summon Pack section, this is targeted at new, early, and mid-game players. People who are probably less than a year to right around a year in Epic 7, who are looking to catch up and get into the game and not feel like they are swimming with sharks and getting eaten alive, right? There's so much good stuff in this. This lets you awaken a unit to 6-star instantly. This saves so much catalysts, right? Doesn't save you Molagora, but it saves you so much catalyst, awakening them to 6-star. And this lets you instantly promote them to 6-star. So you use this one, then you use this one, and your hero is done except for the Molagora. Plus it gives you a crap ton of gold. Between the penguins and the gold, crap ton of gold. And it's only $3. It's a pretty good value for this, especially for new players who are like, I've got 100 heroes at 5-star. I've got to level some things. It instantly lets you 6-star unit. Yeah, it's enough penguins to take it to level 60. So this is a great value pack, especially for new players. Thus, it says welcome pack. And then we got a welcome summon pack. It's only $5. You get a 5-star artifact and unit. This one, not so much value to the veteran player, because most veteran players have most of the units. So there's a really good chance this gets you something useless, whereas for a new player is a much higher chance to get you something brand new. So the value on this goes down the more units and artifacts you have, because it's completely random what you might get. You might get, you know, two of the best hero and artifact in the game. You might wind up with Fire Litica and, you know, your 23rd Iron Fan, right? And then there's this one. It's the same as the first one, except, oh no, wait, this is 4 to 5-star hero tickets and 4 to 5-star artifact tickets. So they're not guaranteed 5 stars, but you get more of them, and you get 10 free summons a day. So for $10, I'd have to add it up, but that's a shit ton of summons. That's pretty good value. Again, especially for a relatively new player. I mean, it's extreme, right? It says extreme right there in the name. So I think this is pretty worth, right? It's gambling. You could get absolutely nothing. You could wipe your ass with $10 and throw it out the window and have the same impact on your game getting this pack. But if you enjoy the pull, if you enjoy the dopamine hit, and odds are you will get at least something from this in all of these pulls, I think this is a pretty good value, especially if you like a little bit of gamba in your life. We'll come back to the gear in a minute. This pack has negligible value for endgame players who are sitting on all the charms they could ever want, but there's 40 Molagora in there. It's enough to max plus 15, 1.5 units. 1.25 units. I don't think I've ever seen that much Molagora go for that little of a price. Usually Mola is more than $1 a Mola. So that is... I'm sorry, these are catalysts, not charms. So this is a decent value, but again, it depends on your reserves. I've seen people sitting on hundreds of Molas. I've seen people starved with minimal. All this pack does is save you time, right? 40 Molas is about little over a month worth of free Molagora. And that's pretty impressive. An entire month for 50 bucks of catch-up. These are the crazy value packs, right? These are the selector packs. First, there's the artifact one. It's going to let you choose any artifact, including limited ones. As long as it's as long as it's Laia and before, you can pick up a limited artifact. You can grab Laia's artifact, Sweet Miracle, back through Gala, back all the way back to Luna and Celestine and yeah, basically any limited artifact that came out Laia or 2023 and earlier. You cannot select collaboration artifacts. This isn't Smilegate's fault, guys. They're not allowed to profit off of somebody else's IP without a collaboration agreement. There's like literally laws against that. It's the reason you don't just have Disney music in your videos. There's laws against using other people's intellectual property to make profit. So, yeah, there will never be collaboration artifacts or heroes. No 3F, no Rocket Punch. Don't think you can get this and grab yourself a Rocket Punch. There's also a non-limited selector. You can't select these what do they call them? Special event artifacts. And you can't select the very, very recent artifacts that came out, right? And you can't select limited artifacts. And you can't select collab. It's basically just saying it's the same time range, right? But you can grab any RGB 5-star artifact. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, if it's Elvira or more, if it's Elvira or more recent, you can't select it. And if it is a event artifact like Chatty, like Otherworldly Machine, just go into the freaking what do they call that? The Book of Memories and go get it. If you using this on Chatty, get some help. It's a free artifact. Go do the story. So it's 2 artifacts of your choice, and then 2 random 5-star artifacts. So there's literally 4 artifacts here, and there's a way to imprint one of them. It's $100, but this could let you hard focus an artifact, right? So this one's probably the most value for endgame players. Probably way more value for endgame players. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for newer players unless they really feel like they're being held back because they don't have specific artifacts. You got Laia, but not Sweet Miracle, for example. This one might have some pretty significant value. There's some units that if they just don't have an artifact, it's not even really worth using them. But unfortunately, this is not a way to solve your I got Karena but no Rocket Punch situation. You are still in shambles. Okay, the last one is the Hero Summon, and of all of the $100 packs I've ever seen, I think this one is the highest value for new players as well as veterans. For new players, that lets them get any non-collab hero that is Laia or further back that they want, as well as a ton of imprints. First, just like the other one, you get a 5-star random hero, and that's great. Everybody wants an additional Firelitica, right? And then you get a 5-star Covenant hero, okay? Important where they're Covenant hero. So you can choose any red, green, blue hero. No MLs, no limiteds, no collaboration heroes, and nothing more current than Elvira. That means Laia, or sorry, that means anything prior to Elvira and back. As long as it's not limited, so you can't get another Luna with this, you can't get a Laia with this, you definitely can't get collaboration heroes, but you know what, you're sitting here going, I really wish that I had Ran. I really think my game is suffering because I don't have a... You could get a Fire Haste to imprint your ML Haste. And that's another thing you consider too, is like, well, yeah, you can't select an ML unit and you really would just... You got all the RGBs. Well, you can pick the RGB equivalent and use it to imprint your ML. And then there's this one, and this is the fire one, right? A limited selector. They're literally giving you any limited hero in the game, Laia and earlier. So you can pull a Laia. Gala Lilius is included. Gala came out in like October. Elia was in February. You could pick up your Gala. If you're crazy about ML Luna, you could pick up Ice Luna and use that to imprint your ML Luna. Any limited hero, again, that's not a collaboration, but any limited hero. And you get a slate. This slate can be used on only Covenant heroes. It cannot be used on limited or collaboration heroes. So let's say you wanted to imprint your ML Haste, or you could use this on the Fire Haste you just pulled, and then imprint that, or send that imprinted Fire Haste into ML Haste and kind of dogleg this into the ML unit. But that's the difference between an unknown slate. Unknown slate can be used on anything. Limited, collab, ML, Covenant. You can use an unknown slate anywhere, whereas a Slate of Fate is limited to only Covenant heroes, only RGB heroes. It can't be used on limiteds or collabs. So say you got Gala Lilius. If you've got a Fire, you can hang on to this until you get a Fire Lilius, imprint the Fire Lilius, then shove that imprinted Fire Lilius into Gala Lilius. That's the only way to dogleg this into limiteds, or to shove this into, say, for example, Fire Haste, and then use the imprinted Fire Haste to double imprint ML Haste. It's the only way to dogleg a Slate of Fate into a limited ML or an ML, but that does require having the RGB version in the first place. Otherwise, this is just going to be something to let you imprint one of your RGB units. Like Genua. And you get enough blooms to 6-star whatever unit you pull. So, when they say Covenant heroes, they mean RGB. Otherwise, they say Galaxy heroes. ML heroes are not Covenant heroes. Sure, you can get MLs with Covenant bookmarks, but they're not considered Covenant heroes. So, this is not something you can use on MLs. You cannot use this to imprint your Landy, or your ML Landy, or your Karena, or any limited collab or ML unit. The only way you can get these into an ML or a limited unit is to dogleg it through, to use an RGB unit as a mule to take it into it. And if you don't have that RGB unit, you gotta put this in storage and wait. But otherwise, just imprint a regular RGB. There's plenty of RGBs out there with really good imprints, guys, that might love to have that slate. And the gear. Let's talk about the gear packs one more time real quick. They're not like set your account on fire good, but they're pretty solid. I think it's pretty close to what I had hoped they would be, right? It's really, really good gear. They're all 88 equipment score, right? They're all very playable. You can click and hold on each one to see what's in them. And they're all very good. None of them are earth-shattering. There's no friggin' 22 speeders in here, right? They all have basically the same stats. But 88 equipment score is solid. That's very high-low end to low-high end pieces. They're very, very good 88 pieces. And they're only 30 bucks. So, and you get a couple of mod boxes and some charms to level up other gear. If you're a responsible spender and you're relatively new and you don't have a lot of gear, I think this is gear that will get your account up to the next level, right? If you're brand new or under a year, I think this gear really helps your account. If you've been playing for 4 or 5 years, I think you look at this and go, I got better. At that point, the only reason to buy this stuff is if you're looking at these kind of things, right? None of them are going to let you cleave, right? None of them are giga speed. But these are really, really nice. I can't clear Zeo yet. I'm stuck on Wyvern 12 kind of gear, right? Yeah. 17s. This set right here lets somebody build a 291 speed ran. How many guys have been playing 6-7 months can build a 291 speed ran? So I don't know. I'm not that I would recommend a relatively new person build 291 speed ran. But yeah, that's just with this kit, not with anything else. I'm just saying it's not terrible. It's It's good gear, but it's not... Elf Mage isn't buying this. People in the World Cup, they ain't buying this. This is targeted at new players. This is a catch-up mechanic. This helps with the gear grind. It's responsibly priced. I like it. I think it's a good thing. It doesn't damage the game. It helps new players. It will turn free-to-play newer players into responsible dolphins who might spend a bit on the game, which is good for the game in general. I think this is the best possible scenario for this gear, and I'm about it. I like what they did here. It's exactly what I hoped they would do. I think the packs are good, guys. I think the packs are real good. I think these are really good. These are far, far better than the Mystic packs. So if you don't have ML Luna, and I'd have to add it up, but there may well be a pity worth of Mystics in this. I'd have to add it up, but this is far better value than buying the Mystic packs straight up. So if you're planning on spending to get Luna, this is the way. There's a lot of extra fluff and points and tons of Mystics. And if you are a relatively new player, these are really nice packs. I would not encourage you to spend $100 on a mobile tap-tap waifu booby game if you don't have the money. But if you enjoy it, don't let anybody shame you on spending money on something that brings you pleasure. Okay? I spent $250 today on this game. I have spent way more taking friends out to dinner. I spent way more going to a pub. I spent more in gas money driving to events. And I didn't get anything out of that. I don't have any assets to show for that. You could easily just as much say you're just throwing money away. I am totally fine with throwing money away if it brings you pleasure and you have it to throw. If you do not have the money to spend, if this is a, well, I guess I'll eat ramen this week, but this gets me ML Luna, you are making bad decisions and you really need to reevaluate your life or consider getting help, because that is not an okay way to be. We talk about Epic 7 being a game of resource management, but you know it's a bigger game of resource management? Real life. Don't spend what you don't have. But if you have it and it's fun for you, you enjoy the gambling, you enjoy the dopamine hit, and you don't feel like you need to do this, you don't feel compelled to do this. The moment you feel like you have to do this, you're compelled to do this, close the fucking game, go outside, touch some grass. Don't spend money you don't have. Don't be that guy who posts on Reddit about how gacha games ruined his life and his spouse left him because he was 29 grand in debt and his wife found out why and that was it. Don't be that guy.